What's going on, everyone? I'm Jamel Jones, the real estate alpha wolf and the creator of New Realm Digital Marketing. In this video, I just want to show you guys the 5 stupidly simple steps on how to get started wholesaling real estate in 21 to 30 days or less without any money, right? So let's kick it off. Step 1 is to find distressed property owners. Now, a lot of people will tell you that you need to find distressed properties, and that would be properties with tall grass, properties with a lot of mail, properties with broken out windows, roof damage, things like that. But what I find more effective in my business is not necessarily concentrating on the distress of the property, but the distress of the property owner. Because I've came across people in my business with a house that was literally barely standing, but they wouldn't sell. I've also came across people that have very, very nice houses, but their personal life was in shambles. Their personal life was distressed. They had a relative die. They were going through a divorce or bankruptcy, something like that. And those people, they're looking for help, right? So that's the first step. And you do that driving for dollars, scrolling for dollars, city, county, state records, right? I'm gonna go through all of these. Driving for dollars is literally you just drive around and you look for signs of distress, physical distress, right? Mail in the mailbox, the roof, the tall grass, car in the driveway that has grass up around the tires and stuff. That means that that car hasn't been moved in a while, right? Or in the wintertime, there's no tire tracks in the snow, but there's a car there. So keep that in mind. Another one is scrolling for dollars. So it's the exact same as driving for dollars, but you're doing it using Google Maps. And that's pretty self-explanatory. You find an area that you want to go in. It could be your local area or a virtual area, and you just put the little guy down on the street, and then you can look around and look at houses and stuff like that. I don't use this strategy a whole lot, but back when I first got started, I did. And I actually found distressed properties doing this in other areas in different states and stuff like that, right? And the third way is the county, city, or state records. Some counties, county is the lowest level, right? Some counties have what they call distressed property lists or demolition lists. Cities also have this. Sometimes they work together. Sometimes they're different. Sometimes they're the same. And state records would be sometimes taxes. That's more of a county thing. But you can find that anywhere, right? So you'll just have to go to your county courthouse, and you can also find liens and water shutoff lists, eviction lists, like just a whole bunch of things, right? So you'll just have to go to your city courthouse, your county courthouse, the city building, or the state building, and just ask a bunch of questions, right? All right, step 2 is finding the contact info for those owners and then calling and or texting them. Now, this is a process called skip tracing, right? And there's a few free ways to do this. TruePeopleSearch.com is really good. I use it all the time. FastPeopleSearch.com. Google, you can just Google someone's name and see what come up, right? Or social media. Like if you have their first and last name, you can find them on social media. There's literally millions, if not billions, of people on Facebook. So 9 times out of 10, the person who you're looking for has a social media account. What I found about the first two, though, True People Search and Fast People Search, is I've skip traced through a lot of paid services and didn't get any numbers back, but I actually found contact information on people using these. But the only thing about them is you can't run a list of 10,000 properties through these things, right? It's like one and done. Not one and done, but it's one at a time, right? So it's time consuming. All right, step 3 is negotiations and follow-ups. So I put these together because they're the same thing. Records show that you need 5 to 7 touches with the person before you get a deal. So despite what you've seen on a lot of other people's page with people just hopping on the phone and getting a contract, that might happen, but that's not likely, right? Normally, you need to have multiple conversations with a person. So once you get them on the phone, you talk to them, you build rapport and things like that. I'll make another video on negotiations. And then you throw them into a follow-up sequence. You either set a reminder on your phone to call them back, because you want to have multiple conversations because you want them to get to know you and you want to get to know them. Because people will sell to you not because of their need to sell to you, but because they like you, right? Because you have to imagine there's like thousands of wholesalers out here. What's to set you apart from the other 20 people that called them this week, right? So you have to stand out, ask them about their day. You hear dogs in the background, obviously, bring up your dog, bring up their dog. If you have a dog, even better. Kids, all of those things to build rapport with these people. And, you want to ask them pain point questions. What are you going through? Can you explain that to me? Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Things like that. And then you want to throw them in a follow-up. And these go hand in hand because every conversation you have with them is going to be a negotiation of some sort. So that's why these two things go hand in hand. And what you want to do is negotiate the best price, obviously, and follow up with them. I've had deals where I wasn't the best price that they've had. I know you guys probably hear a lot of people saying this online. It's a real thing. I wasn't the best offer that they had, but they sold to me just because they liked me more. So that's the thing. All right. Step 4, getting the contract signed. Now, after you've negotiated the best price, hopefully you guys have your agreements already ready to go. So now that you've negotiated the best price, you've got to get the contract signed. And this can vary based on what type of wholesaling you're doing, what type of deals you're doing, right? If it's in your local market, then you can easily just drive over there and you could do it in person, which is the second one. Or you could use my recommendation, which is Docusign's free account, which allows you, I don't remember if it's 3, I put 3 on here, but it may be 5. They'll allow you to send and get 3 or 5 documents signed per month. And for a lot of you guys just starting out, that's all you need. That's literally all you need, unless you hit the ground running. Like this just comes naturally to you. Unfortunately, that's not all of us. Some of us struggle a little bit getting started, but DocuSign would be the best way. And if you're doing it in person, especially if you're dealing with some older sellers, like they want you to come over and talk to them and stuff like that. My advice, if you're in a virtual market and that happens, you need to reach out to a wholesaler or a realtor in that area and offer them a percentage of your potential assignment fee to do the legwork for you. That's called having boots on the ground, right? And finally, step 5, the part that we all love is finding a buyer. Now, I just want to say one thing. Like I find that a lot of people, when they're just getting started, and it's not their fault, it's because of the type of information that they've intook about wholesaling, they focus on the buyer's list. I'm building my buyer's list first. I've literally had a person, one of my clients, before he met me, he had spent the past 3 months building the buyer's list. He hadn't marketed to any sellers at all. He just spent the last 3 months building the buyer's list. And that's cool. I like to do them both at the same time, especially when I go into a new market, I do them both at the same time. The problem is you're spending a lot of money, not a lot of money, though I guess it depends on what you're doing. You're spending a lot of time building a buyer's list for buyers because they're telling you their buy box and what they're looking for and stuff. And so when you actually start marketing, you're going to be looking for what they want, which means that you're going to leave a lot of money on the table with other deals. So my strategy that I like to use is to find the properties, find the deals first, and then allow the deals to find the buyers for me. And what that means is I'll get a property under contract. I'll post it on wherever I post it at. And all of the people that reach out to me asking about their property, they're a buyer. So put them in a list. They might not want that property, but they're a buyer, right? And if they recognize that you're a wholesaler, they're going to reach out to you like, hey, yeah, throw me on your list. I'm looking for properties. So finding a buyer's list first, that's kind of working backwards in my opinion. I like I said, I do them both at the same time. I find the property, and once I get the property on the contract, I market the property, and the buyers find me based on the property. So you also want to find a title company, a wholesaler-friendly or quote-unquote investor-friendly title company. And once you get a title company, you found a buyer, now you want to assign that contract. And I'll post a link, I think, in the description for contracts for agreements. You never say contract. Also, I just want to throw that in there. When you're talking to a seller, especially, you never say the word contract, right? You always say agreement, a purchase and sale agreement, not a purchase and sale contract. When you ask, hey, can I send you over the contract? Do not say contract. Hey, can I send you over the agreement to get your autograph? Never say signature or contract. Say agreement and autographed, or I want you to verify this paper, or just something. Just avoid those two words, right? And then once you get the property assigned, I like to personally get a EMD from the buyer just to make sure that they're actually serious. A lot of buyers don't like to do that, especially if they've never done business with you before. But that just makes it good business, right? You're not going to get up to the closing and then decide that you don't want to do it. So I like to get a non-refundable EMD, which is earnest money deposit from the buyer before we even go further. And I get that at the time of closing, or I put in the agreement. It has to be delivered to the title company via cashier's check or wire transfer within 24 hours of signing the agreement, or this agreement is null and void, right? That's standard in all of my agreements. All right, so that is, then you close and you get your money, you get your check. You can even, if it's virtual, they're obviously going to wire you the money, right? But if it's in person, you can go pick up your check. You can have them mail it to you, have the title company mail it to you, and things like that. And I guess I left out how to find a title company. The best thing to do to find a wholesaler-friendly title company is never to mention the word wholesaling when you call in title companies. Ask them if they facilitate assignments and or double closings, because some of your deals, your spread that you're going to make on it is going to be so much that the buyer is going to have a problem with that. I've had a couple buyers back out on me in the past because they didn't like that I was making more than what a real estate agent would make. Even though the deal was still a really good deal for them, they didn't like that I was making as much money that I was making. And if you have people that are even asking you how much you're making on it, push them to the back of your list, push them to the bottom of your list, because you're going to have problems out of that person when you run across a really big deal, right? So send them all the things where your assignment's like low, a couple thousand up to 10,000 or something like that. So anyway, with the title companies, you want to call around and you want to ask them, do they facilitate assignments and or double closings, right? And if they do, write them down, because you're going to want to use them. And you can do this like virtually, like just Google title companies or closing attorneys. Some states use closing attorneys, not title companies. So you just got to play that by ear as far as who you're dealing with, where you're dealing with them. So these methods are very, very effective that I just taught you in this video. They're very effective and they're very hands-on, because you're doing everything manually. You have your hands in the pot, so to speak, right? But they're very time consuming and very tedious. Like after a while with the cold calling and sending out manual text messages and things like that from your personal phone, and then you're going to run into like weird people that don't want to stop like texting you and stuff. I got some stories for y'all. People are weird. So anyway, this could be time consuming and tedious, but it's free. This is the free way. So in this business, you have to either spend money and save the time, or spend the time and save the money. There's no two ways about it, right? You can't save the money and save the time, right? Not saying it's a lot of money, but let's say you do have a little money to spare and you want to automate the majority of this. You want to automate sending messages out, holding conversations with people. You can automate all of this stuff, right? You can get the lists. Instead of going to the county, you could get what's called Propstream or a service called Privy. I love both of these. They each have their own functionality that I like a lot. They have their own purposes, and each one is $97 a month. I'll link a free trial to both of them in the description. So you can use this to pull a list. Both are $97 a month. Both allow you to pull 10,000 records per month, either on market or off market records. And so it's really good. You can just sit in front of your laptop and just pull tax lien properties, regular lien properties, foreclosures, bankruptcies, divorces, vacants, on market, off market, high equity, low equity. Like, you get all of that stuff, right? And then you can skip trace them using Geopoint Data. I'll link it in the description. There's no monthly fee. You just pay per record. I'll also link my code, which is Alpha 20, in the description as well. You get 20% off. So you skip trace, it'd be about 9 cents a record, something like that, right? And I absolutely love Geopoint. Those guys over there, like, those are good people, and the data's good too. The data's really good. So I recommend Geopoint if you got some money to spend. Now, for the outreach, you can use New Realm's automated marketing CRM. We have a Propstream and Privy and Geopoint integration where you can just access it directly from the software. We have two-way AI SMS messaging. And what this means is you upload your list after you skip traced it. You add it to what's called a workflow, an automated workflow that's built by myself that will actually hold a conversation with your prospect. It'll reach out to them. Hey, Bill, this is Jamel. I'm interested in buying a property at 123 Main Street. Are you interested in selling? They respond no. It'll be like, okay, cool. Sorry to bother you. And it'll add them to a follow-up campaign. And in that follow-up campaign, that's actually automated too. So when it comes time to follow up, whatever you set it to, it can either notify you that you need to give them a call, or that's what I like to do. I like to be more hands-on, or it can send them out another text message, like however you want to do it. And if they say that they are interested in selling, it could go a few different ways based on what you want to do. I won't get too much into that, but ultimately what I'm trying to say is it covers initial contact to actually having to get on the phone with the people. And that's very crucial because a lot of the numbers that you call and text are going to be dead numbers. A lot of people are going to curse you out. A lot of people are going to say that it's the wrong number, whether it is or not. You're going to get mostly wrong numbers. And sending out two-way SMS messages with an automated response system to automatically disposition your calls is very powerful because it saves you a buttload of time, right? So instead of manually texting these people or manually calling these people just to find out it's the wrong number or just to get cursed out, you'll have the system do it for you. And so you'll literally only talk to people who want to talk to you, right? And the system also has an auto dialer. It has a built-in script. It has automated follow-up. I talked about that. And we have built-in contracts. I know we talked about Propstream, but we have built-in contracts. All you have to do is connect a domain, which is like $7 a year using Namecheap. You connect your domain and link the agreements funnel to your domain and just send that link out. So let's say you get a seller that's ready to go. Like, all right, I'm going to send you a link. Email or a text message, they click on the link, is going to take them to a website, your website, that has the terms of the agreement already pre-populated and a way to sign at the bottom and then submit contract. And that's going to come back to you and then it's going to go out to them. And it's just a whole thing, man. So it's a pretty amazing software. So right now with New Realm, we're doing the first 3 months of you signing up for a limited time for only $99. We usually sell this. I've been told that I can sell this for $500 more based on all of the stuff that I have in it. But I usually sell it for $199 because I know that especially wholesalers that are just getting started, they can't really afford that, right? So for the first 3 months, it's only going to be $99. And the reason why I'm doing this is because 3 months using this system, you're guaranteed to get a lead. You're guaranteed, not a lead, but a deal. You're guaranteed to get a deal, guaranteed within the first 3 months. If you follow my training and everything that I have set out for you once you sign up, you are guaranteed to get a deal within our first 3 months. So it's $99 a month for the first 3 months, and then the price goes up, right? And you should be able to afford it if you actually follow what I tell you to do. So I have a link in the description where you guys can either book a call with me to talk more about it, or you can go directly to the sign up page and get started today. But yeah, that's it, man. That is exactly the stupidly simple 5 steps to getting started with wholesaling in 21 to 30 days or less with no money. Or if you want to automate the majority of that, you can book a call with me or sign up at the bottom, right? That's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.